Go ahead.
What does Cal do on defense that's a little different from other teams in the conference?
Well, they have a unique personnel to their team. Obviously, they have a lot of athletes, and they can play lineup with Rab at the 5 and Jalen Brown at the 4, and they're basically playing 5 just really athletic guards. So they can do a lot of switching and stuff like that, and they can present a lot of different lineups at you that can cause problems.
What's the difference between consistency in that second game last week as opposed to the Utah game?
It's hard. It's really a hard thing to tell. You know, with consistency, it's so hard to figure out why you are and why you aren't. I feel like we were very in tune and very together for that entire game. I feel like we were very engaged as a group. We weren't into ourselves or into who was making a shot or who wasn't. It was more about our team was doing well, and that's what was important. And I just felt like we were playing hard for 40 minutes and really stuck together. And anytime something went wrong, you know, we were up 10 in the first half, and then all of a sudden they cut it to 5 really quick. And we could have easily let that become a game, but we ended up turning it back up before half, which really helped.
Do you guys find it hard to win on the road this year in conference compared to other years?
Yeah, I mean it's difficult to win any game on the road in conference from year to year. It's always very difficult. Teams play very well at home, especially in the Pac-12. People don't lose very often at home. I think the win percentage on the road is very low. So obviously, yeah, it's very tough. But you know, we have one under our belt, or 2 under our belt in conference play. I feel like we've done a little bit better job on the road. We've played better on the road this year than we have in the past. So we have confidence that we can try to go get some wins this week.
Are there any stadiums in the conference where, whether it's the way the seats are kind of set up, but anything about certain stadiums that kind of messes with your shot a little bit?
I don't know. I think if you were to really, we don't think about it while we play. Obviously, it's not something that as players, once you suit up, once you're out there playing, you don't really think about it. But I mean, in shoot around, you're kind of getting a feel for it. They're obviously all different arenas have different aspects to it, but usually the darker arenas or like the darker colored seats are usually better for shooters if you want to really dive into it. But like I said, when you start playing, you don't really notice it, I feel like.
What about the rims?
The rims? I mean, yeah, there's obviously different stuff with that. There's some places that have different rims that are more forgiving. I feel like usually Arizona's rims are pretty nice and soft, and there's different arenas that have different stuff with arenas and their rims and stuff like that. So.
Thomas, what was your conversation like with the coaches before the Colorado game?
Yeah, I mean, they just called me and wanted to talk to me, and they actually brought it up first, the idea of switching the lineup, and I said, yeah, I've been thinking about it as well. I mean, yeah, I thought it worked well for us in that game, and Tony is a phenomenal player. We just want to get him going early and just try to ride his energy as a senior. So if we can just continue this surge we had going this last game, I think we'll be in a good spot.
When did you start thinking that might be something that would help Tony get in a better flow?
Probably think the night after the Utah game, just because if you look at Tony last year at this time was just really doing really well, and this coming off the bench, he just hasn't been playing, I think, as well as he knows he's capable of. So I thought maybe switching the lineup up and giving him a chance to get going early would be good for him, and I thought it was in that last game.
In what ways did you think he wasn't playing as well as he could have off the bench? Because it seemed like his scoring and rebounding were pretty similar.
Yeah, no, I mean,
minutes.
I mean, yeah, that's a tough question for sure, because I mean, he's still doing well. Tony's a great player. Coming off the bench or starting, he's going to figure something out to do well. But I mean, yeah, maybe just was different for him being a senior and coming off the bench, and you know, he's just a guy that we can build off of offensively, defensively. You can just bring emotion and energy to our team, and we can just get him going early in the starting lineup and just have him out there for the beginning of the game too, and just start it early on with that. I think that'd be good for us, and yeah, I thought it was for sure.
Is there a difference for you coming off the bench or starting?
No, yeah, I mean, it's still playing the game. Yeah, I don't think so. No, I think maybe I can bring a little energy off the bench, try to get a little spark going with that. But yeah, I mean, it's still basketball, whether you start at 20 minutes on the clock or however many there are.
Have you gotten much of a chance to watch Cal yet?
Not yet. I think, yeah, today, right before practice, probably get our personnel going and get that on. But yeah, I mean, they're a great team, extremely skilled, extremely athletic, so I think it's going to be a big weekend for us. We just got to bring it for both games and just get them done.
Are you going to be able to take anything from the Colorado win, a 40-minute game that you guys played for the rest of the season?
Definitely, I thought that was a great game for us. I mean, that Colorado was a great team, and we did a great job defensively. I think we held them to 50-something points. I mean, yeah, that's huge for us. If you can do that, you're going to put yourself in a great position to win, and we just need to build on that going forward, I think.
Do you, when you go on the road, do you notice a difference when you're playing with a different ball, you're playing with a different game ball?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it can be a quick turnaround too. Just going from like playing at home with the Wilson balls to now all of a sudden in practice switching to the Nike balls. I mean, they're a little bit different, but at the same time, it is still a basketball, and for the most part, it's the same. But maybe the traction's a little bit different, but it's not like that significant of a difference. I don't think.
Have you ever had a problem like slipping during the game or anything?
I mean, some balls are definitely slicker than others, and there's definitely a different feel to them, but not really anything that significant.
Do you find it easier to start opposed to coming off the bench?
Not really. It doesn't really matter. As long as I play, it's cool. So just getting out there, getting in the groove as fast as possible. It doesn't really bother me at all.
What was your reaction to the initial move to put Jonah in there?
Just whatever it takes that they think will make us win is fine with me.
Was there anything you did to try and adjust when you first moved to the bench?
No, just come in, play hard, and just get a groove, and that was basically it.
What's the key to finding consistency with this team, as like team-wide? I
think it's just guarding. Our problem comes on the defensive end. I think if we guard, we'll be all right. If we don't guard, then teams can really beat us. That's just how basketball works. If you don't play defense, you can lose on any night.
You guys will mix defenses up during the middle of a game and go from a zone to a man. Is that challenging to kind of move between different types of defenses?
No, it's not challenging at all. You kind of know the calls. You practice them, so it's just trying to keep teams on their heels on the offensive end, slowing them down or making them think. Zone slows them down a lot, so it helps us out. Our full court zone slows teams down a lot, so it helps us out.
The performance in Colorado by the team is one of the best all season. How do you become that team night in, night out from here on in?
Just build consistency on the defensive end, because you're not going to make shots every night. That's a given. Some people are going to have bad shooting games. Everybody has bad shooting games. But if you guard on the consistency, then everything else will take care of itself. The best teams in the country guard on a consistent level.
Do you notice a difference when you go on the road and play with a different game ball?
Sometimes, but we practice with different balls.
Yeah.
So before, like if we playing with a different ball this week, we'll practice with that ball. So you get a gist of what the ball is, and you're trying to get a feel for it, and coach makes sure you get enough shots with it. But they do change. There are differences.
What are the differences?
Some are slick, some are a lot heavier. Not a lot heavier, but just not as bouncy. So you just get a feel for them. But I mean, it just depends on the air in the ball, because sometimes you can have a Wilson ball. You play Wilson balls every night, and if this one has more air on it, it's going to feel different. So it's basketball. So every ball is not particularly the same. You're not going to play with the same ball every night.
Do better shooting teams take air out of it, or is it just depend on the ball, or? It
doesn't really matter. I don't think people there ain't Tom Brady or anything. It's not a deflate gate deal. It's just basketball is way different.
What's your favorite basketball?
My favorite basketball?
Yeah, to shoot with.
To shoot with? I don't really think it matters. As long as it's a ball. I mean, it's round and it's a good ball, I'll shoot with it. It doesn't really matter. I don't really have no favorite as of yet.